Welcome, everyone, to episode 123 of the Chris Parrish Podcast. My name is Chris Parrish. Thank you so much for joining us. This episode is called Bets Are In because we are less than a week away from WrestleMania 43. 42. Yeah, 42. Don't quote me on that. Actually, quote me on that one. But yes, 1 week, 6 days. Well, less than a week. Anyway, thank you to Beardcade YEG, the official proud partner of the Chris Parrish Podcast. They are giving you an opportunity to watch AEW Dynasty for free tonight. So make sure, if you're in the Edmonton area, to go check out Beardcade YEG at 10544 82nd Ave. They are amazing. I will be there for night 2 of WrestleMania. That's right. Earlier, I was going to be there for night 1. Things have changed. I should be there for night 2 of WrestleMania. So you might want to check out Beardcade YEG if you're in that area. Come on, swing on by. It'll be a lot of fun. AEW Dynasty tonight, and then WrestleMania both Saturday and Sunday for night 1 and night 2. And yeah, I'll be there for night 2. So come say hi. Let's have some fun. Let's enjoy WrestleMania. And if you're swinging by tonight, enjoy AEW Dynasty. I also want to say shout out to Turnbuckle Studios and the Turnbuckle Affiliation Program. Going to turnbucklestudios.org is the official site. And if you want all the information, please go check that out, because there is a lot to go. You can check out all of our latest episodic shows. There's an opportunity for you to go and see if you want to become a part of the Turnbuckle Affiliation Program, as well as getting a chance to just know us and then go into that amazing Redbubble powered shop there. If you want to help support any of your favorite shows or us in general, that is a great place to go. Speaking of support, if you are on any of the platforms that we're on, please give a like, please share, please follow, please subscribe. Anything you can do definitely helps out, and that'd be greatly appreciated. We got Bobby Petito in the house, and happy Sunday, Chris Parrish. Happy Sunday to you. Thank you for coming in. We are going to talk a lot about WrestleMania, because why not? We are less than a week, 6 days to WrestleMania 42. Finally got that right. So let's have some fun. Also, if you had a chance to watch TNA Rebellion last night, let me know what you thought about that. Congratulations are in order. We have new tag team champions, and if I'm not mistaken, a new international champion in Mustafa Ali, which I'm so happy about. I am a huge fan of Mustafa Ali, and I am so happy that he is now a champion in TNA. It's only a matter of time, in my eyes, before he is the world heavyweight champion. Bobby Stats coming in saying, I just like the video on YouTube. Thank you very much, Bobby. And I saw that EC3 returned as well. Yes, not only did he return, but he returned with his old theme, old graphics, just about everything else went full retro EC3. Ethan Carter III is back in TNA. Absolutely fantastic. And I think that's a great place for him to revitalize his career. So I'm very excited to see what Ethan Carter III can do. Also, I'm very happy that TNA is coming back to Edmonton. Very happy later in November. I can't wait to head back to TNA. If you haven't had a chance to go and watch TNA from a live aspect, I certainly wish you do, because it is fun. It is amazing. It's one of the best wrestling experiences you will have. They're definitely a fan-friendly company, and I love that. Also, their merchandise, very affordable compared to other companies. So shout out to TNA for always caring about their consumers. I definitely appreciate that. WrestleMania. Let me know what you guys think about this. Bobby coming in one more time saying, I'm still shocked that Zaya Brookside helped Ariana Grace beat Zaya Brookside. I'm interested to see if Zaya Brookside is joining Birthright. Yeah, it's going to be intriguing. And I think that Birthright faction is something to watch moving forward as we develop in NXT, especially the post WrestleMania time as call ups are expected to go down. We'll touch on that probably more next week than this week of the rumored call ups because, well, we're going to have a bit of a night one hangover next week, and well, we need a little shot of energize to get through the whole event. So that'll be a nice little switch too. So let's get right into it because I want to talk about not only WrestleMania, but I'm going to let you guys know what kind of the betting odds, not so much are, but who the favorites to win from the betting odds are. And then let's have some fun with our own predictions and maybe where we personally see things going. And you can let me know in the chat. I will let you know here and we'll have a lot of fun. But yeah, let's get right in. And we're going to start with night one. And I want to source betonline.ag for providing the information that I got to find out who the betting favorites are, as they did release the full betting odds just the other day. So obviously a lot of this can change throughout the week. So don't use this as your pure source of betting. Please bet responsibly, and please do not make the mistakes of assuming an odd is everything. Please do your research. Make sure that you're checking out multiple sources and making sure that you're getting the right bet because you want to make sure that you win. I want to see a win. So let's have some fun here. Starting off night one, we do have a 6-man tag in the Vision in the new WWE World Tag Team Champions, Logan Paul and Austin Theory, as they tag with IShowSpeed as they go up against LA Knight, Jimmy and Jay Uso. And I think this is going to be a fun match because, one, this is going to be the first match that WrestleMania produces that's going to be on ESPN Plus. So you're going to want to check out ESPN if you're in the States, but also, of course, it's on Netflix as well for the international viewer. But this is going to be the first match that you see, and it's going to be a lot of fun to watch. I think this is a great match that they put on. I know it was almost last minute. I know there's going to be a lot of comments that saying, I wish LA Knight had something else. Why couldn't they do a tag team title match? I understand all of that, and I am with you. But this is what we have. And I think it's going to be a lot of fun to watch. And I do think we're going to see what the expected outcome is, and that is LA Knight and the Usos winning this. I do think we're going to see that. I also want to put out a congratulations to Jimmy Uso and Naomi for having a baby boy. That's right. The information came out yesterday, I believe, that they had a baby boy. So congratulations to the two of them. So yeah, the odds are heavily favoring LA Knight and the Usos to win this match. So that is kind of the play there. And I do expect this to go as well because I do think you want some traction over the tag team championships. I know with the potential of Jimmy Uso maybe taking time off to be with Naomi and their son, that could be a thing. I understand that, very aware of that, but I still think we're going to see the Usos pretty regularly on our screen. I know I butchered that word, so just let's keep going. But yeah, Knight, Usos have that. I do think it makes a lot of sense for LA Knight to pick up the win. Yes, it'll be over IShowSpeed most likely, but it'll be a fun match, and it's just one of those matches to get the fans jumping and get you a little excited because the next match on ESPN Plus is going to be a match that absolutely gets you going in all the physical form. Jacob Fatu goes up against Drew McIntyre, and this match might be the one that sells you if you're on ESPN to buy a Netflix subscription if you haven't already and watch WrestleMania, because this is going to be one where these two men absolutely beat each other up like you wouldn't believe. We saw the blood. We saw everything just a few days ago on SmackDown, and it's going to be a lot of fun to watch that. One of the more badass perceptions I got from Drew McIntyre was that I love the jeans, the tape fists, just going at it. I want to see that Drew McIntyre back more often. I don't want the Drew McIntyre who complains. I want to see the one who just kicks ass. Have him be like a hired gun, have him be something, whatever it is. I want to see that Drew McIntyre more. I would love to see Drew McIntyre get another crack at the championship. Yes. However, I do think that the odds that Bet Online, as well as I do, they have Jacob Fatu as your favorite to win this match. I want to think that's going to happen. Let me know if you think that is what you expect, because I just assume we're going to have the conclusion of this and both Jacob Fatu and Drew McIntyre will go on to do other things. And I think that is something to really look forward to. What those other things are, I'm not sure. Maybe we'll see Jacob Fatu go up and challenge for a championship, but I think that's something. Bobby, you're absolutely bang on with what I just said. So, yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing that. And I also wouldn't mind seeing maybe Drew McIntyre. I don't want to say fade away, but sometimes when you have a big match like this and there might be a little bit of a holding pattern for what's next, it's almost best that maybe we just remove him for a few weeks, he comes back, maybe he goes after somebody. It would be, I mean, you know what? Maybe give me Drew McIntyre and like a Matt Cardona or something post WrestleMania. Something fresh, but something for Matt Cardona to really use as a stepping stone to get to that scene. I think that's something I would maybe like as well. And then in that time frame, Matt Cardona and Aleister Black can do whatever they're doing, finish that up, and then you're off and going. Next up, and I think this would be a great way to maybe start WrestleMania on the non-ESPN side of things, but give me AJ Lee and Becky Lynch for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. I have a strong feeling that this match is going to be a lot better than people expect, even though I think a lot of people are pleasantly surprised with AJ Lee back in a ring. And we all know that Becky Lynch is, if not one of the greatest, and if not the greatest women's wrestlers to ever step foot in a wrestling ring. I think we all can have different opinions. I do think by the time she hangs it up, she'll go down as the greatest in-ring women's performer of all time. But again, opinion, and that's the fun part about wrestling. We all have different opinions. The odds to win this match, surprisingly enough, is Becky Lynch to become a 3-time Women's Intercontinental Champion. And I think that does make sense, but at the same time, I would be almost inclined to pick the other. I don't think AJ Lee is finished with WWE after WrestleMania. Why did I say that weird? And I don't understand why, if this does finish, which I strongly believe AJ Lee and Becky Lynch will be the finale, I don't understand why we can't see AJ Lee hold the title and then go on to face somebody else. Maybe like a Raquel Rodriguez or a Roxanne Perez. I think that would be really good. The betting odds are Becky Lynch, but I am going to go with AJ Lee. So I'm not being a shell of the odds. I am going my own way. Let me know your thoughts here. Bobby Stats coming in saying, I like to see AJ Lee win and Becky Lynch should move up to a world title picture. Yes. However, we'll get to that a little bit later, because I do think Stephanie McCure probably will not walk out of WrestleMania champion. So yeah, I'm very much stuck there. However, we might be in a ballpark of where I'd like to see the next move for Becky Lynch. Um, yeah, you know what? Let's just go through the betting odds and the anything, and then we'll talk about what we think is could be next for everyone. And then I have Seth Rollins going up against the Ring General Gunther, simply because I know that we're going to want to have a lot more championship matches to close off the show, and I actually don't think that's a bad idea. Seth Rollins versus Gunther, I think is going to be a great match. Yes, it was absolutely rushed and probably not the match we expected for either Gunther or Rollins. I think Braun Breaker versus Rollins was the expected match that we were all thinking. Yes, from the sounds of it, Braun Breaker is medically cleared. So the question was why? And I think one of the reasons why was because of the unknown, and it just took a little too long to find out. Plus, I don't think you really need to rush this. We all know Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker will eventually have a very great rivalry. And just hot shotting this just so it's on a card doesn't make sense. You want to make sure everything you do is absolutely perfect so that by the time you have your payoff, we're all talking about how amazing that rivalry was, i.e., look at Drew McIntyre and CM Punk and just remember how great that was, finished off with one of the best Hell in a Cell matches they've ever done. So that's kind of where I stand on that. But I do agree that Gunther will win. That is the odds-on favorite to win as well. And the reason why I think that way is because I do think we see the return of Braun Breaker, and I do think Braun Breaker helps Gunther win by putting that kind of knife in Seth Rollins. I don't think he's stabbing him in the back. That's not where I'm going, but I definitely think he attacks him. I definitely think he screws over Seth Rollins here, and I do think that is the obvious and expected thing. But how else would he bring Braun Breaker back? So, and I think that's going to just be the surprise. Braun Breaker is back, and you know what? I'm here for it, and I wouldn't even be surprised if it's somebody with Braun Breaker as well. I don't think it's going to be anything more, or I don't think it's going to be anything just Braun. There could be more people coming in because Seth Rollins did say both Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed were on the shelf, and yes, even though that's true, and maybe he's just saying that because it is true, and that those were the members of the Vision he was in with. I do think that there could be a way that we could see Bronson Reed back and not performing because of the injury, but maybe just back in a visual form. Yeah, who knows? But then again, maybe we just get Braun Breaker and it's just Braun versus Seth, and we don't say anything else for a bit. Yeah, and then, but yeah, yes, I know I'm talking about what's happening next, but it also affects this match as well. So Braun Breaker comes in, he returns, screws over Seth Rollins. Gunther is your winner. Let me know what you think as we move on to the Fatal 4-Way Women's Tag Team title match that have Nikki and Brie Bella versus Bayley and Lyra Valkyria versus Charlotte and Alexa Bliss versus the Women's Tag Team Champions, the Irresistible Forces in Lash Legend and Nia Jax. Now, this match is going to be tricky for anybody who bets on it simply because of how many participants are in the match. Those are always the hardest ones, but the slight favorites to win this match and become new tag team champions are Lyra Valkyria and Bayley. I do like this. And I love this for the sole purpose of the fact that Bayley and Lyra were supposed to go into Vegas last year and compete for the women's tag team championships against, I believe at that time, was Raquel and Liv. So the fact that they're now going into WrestleMania a year after, still in Vegas, and they look to right that wrong, I love that story. I really do. And for that reason, I do want to agree with that. I was happy to see this. I did not expect them or Bet Online to have Bayley and Lyra as the favorites to win. So I was pleasantly surprised to see that. So Bayley, Lyra, the odds-on favorite to win this match. I do think they will. I think that's my favorites as well. And then next up, we have what I really still believe should be the main event of the night. Most likely won't be, but it is the women's world title match between Liv Morgan and Stephanie Vickier. I think this match is going to be a hard-hitting match. Not a lot of matches, I think, are really entering the same conversation of physicality than a Jacob Fatu and Drew McIntyre, but in the last few weeks, can you not say Stephanie and Liv Morgan have brought the physicality to each other in a way that nobody expected? I mean, if you don't believe me, look at the foreheads of both Roxanne Perez and Liv Morgan, because they have an Easter egg sized lump on both of their faces right now that would make all bunnies hop in jealousy. So I think this match is going to be absolutely fantastic, and I do believe we are going to crown a new women's world champion in Liv Morgan, and I think we are going to get that answer because I think Roxanne Perez is the one who helps Liv Morgan out here. And because of that, I think that's where we're going to go. I think we're going to get Stephanie Vickier almost chasing all the members afterwards, but we'll get to that in a second. But Liv Morgan is my pick to become your next women's world champion. And then we go on to our main event of night one, and that is for the WWE Undisputed Championship. Cody Rhodes defends his championship against Randy Orton. And despite what you think about Pat McAfee's involvement, I think it's going to come and help out Randy Orton. I do think we are going to get a new undisputed champion. And guess what? Bet Online thinks so as well, as Randy Orton is not just my prediction of winning, but also the betting favorite to win and become a 15-time world champion. I think this is actually going to be one of those matches where we look at Randy Orton finally having a story that actually makes sense for him to become champion. So it's going to be very intriguing to watch, but now that we have finalized night one, I'm going to now go through kind of where I think everyone is going to go next. And yeah, with Cody Rhodes or Randy Orton, I do think this story is going to continue at least through another month or two. I do think that's going to be something we see. I do think we're going to get more people sprinkled in here. But I wouldn't be shocked to see Cody Rhodes continue this fight. I also won't be convinced that this is going to be the end of Cody Rhodes going after a championship, but I also think this is the right time to have Cody Rhodes have a little road bump, little roadblock to say over the championship, and maybe that's how maybe we go to a Randy Orton versus someone else here. So that's kind of where I see it going. Who I think Randy Orton could go after, or Jacob Fatu, I think is right there. That's a fresh match. It's something that we were almost teased with just a few months back, where we all thought maybe this could be a fatal four-way match with McIntyre and Fatu. So give me Orton, give me Fatu. I wouldn't be surprised if Randy Orton then come out and says he's the one who injured Jacob Fatu because really it was Randy Orton who benefited with the chamber match, and then now with a championship match at Mania, and then at this point, the championship. So I think that's kind of where you go with, and then with Cody Rhodes, who he would face after, who would be somebody that he could go out. Maybe an Aleister Black would be a nice something different. But also, if by chance there are the rumors that Karrion Kross and Scarlett could come back to WWE, how fresh of a matchup would Karrion Kross versus Cody Rhodes be? And I think that would be very, very intriguing just to watch. So I would look for one of either Black or maybe a returning Karrion Kross. That would be my prediction. As far as Morgan and Stephanie Vaquer, again, I do think we're going to see a little bit of similar things. But I know the tease out there is maybe Roxanne Perez maybe turning on Liv. What about Raquel Rodriguez turning on Liv? Liv Morgan has been using the same dialect that Raquel Rodriguez uses to insult Stephanie Vaquer, and I wouldn't think it would be such a negative thing to have Stephanie Vaquer and Raquel Rodriguez be the ones to go after Liv Morgan and Roxanne Perez. That could be a thing, but at the same time, if the plan is to separate Io and Rhea, this could be a great way to maybe put Io in there. I don't know. But you definitely can use another babyface up in that category. Maybe, just maybe, this is where AJ Lee could come up to. And then as Vaquer and Morgan continue on, we could go after Roxanne Perez and AJ Lee for that Intercontinental Championship. Seth Rollins and Gunther. Seth Rollins, Braun Breaker. That's obvious. He would, in my eyes, he screws Rollins in this match. Obvious next direction. For Gunther, how about Oba Femi? How about Oba Femi as a next target? I wouldn't hate this, but also, could we see what the rumor was before? Rey Mysterio? Still possible. I don't know. But I like the idea of maybe Gunther and Oba Femi, and I really do. So, yeah, give me that. The women's tag team, obviously, I still think the Irresistible Forces will probably still try to stay around the tag team title thing. They will be having a rematch if they were to lose the titles. So there's that. But yeah, I mean, it's weird because right now, when you have three teams, maybe on the SmackDown side of things, that are kind of always in the same field of feuding and all that, it does get redundant. So maybe we migrate into maybe a Bellas versus Irresistible Forces type thing after WrestleMania. Maybe we do that with Charlotte and Alexa. Another failed thing, maybe we just see some tension between those two while Bayley and Lyra, they go after the Irresistible Forces for a bit. In a perfect world, I have Fallon Henley and JC Jane attacking them on Raw. And then we're going with that as a next tag team title feud. And then with AJ Lee and Becky Lynch, AJ Lee, maybe Roxanne Perez. For Becky Lynch, I think this could be very interesting if by chance we see, I'm going to put this out, maybe, just maybe, we get a match at the end, or we, after this match, perhaps we see a truce between AJ Lee and Becky Lynch, to a point where maybe Becky Lynch gets the respect from AJ Lee, vice versa. And Becky Lynch not only turns babyface, but she joins back her husband in the fight against the Vision. Maybe the Vision picks up a female member, that female member up against Becky Lynch. Maybe we do that. And then Jacob Fatu, Drew McIntyre. Fatu, I would like to go see, maybe do something with Randy McIntyre. I said maybe a Cardona, maybe a Royce Keys as well. That could be completely fresh as well. And then the Vision, I expect them and the Usos to kind of run it back. LA Knight, the more I think about it, maybe him and Gunther could do something, especially if Gunther does do something in the Vision. LA Knight could be something that we see. At the same time, though, I wouldn't mind LA Knight maybe going after that Intercontinental Championship too. Maybe he has next on that title. So we're kind of midway point here. So I am going to play a few of the ads here. That's right. Go to turnbucklestudios.org. And if you want to hit the /shop, you will then be able to go and check out our beautiful online site that does carry a bunch of products, whether it's shirts, whether it's hoodies, whether it's hats, pillows, accessories, all that stuff. Turnbucklestudios.org/shop is a place to be. So if you want to pick up anything to support the Chris Parrish podcast, that is the place to go. And I would be very much happy to see that. I will, if you always buy something and you show me a photo of you with that product, I'll give you a personal shout out on the show. So that is a guarantee that I will do. If you also want to go to turnbucklestudios.org/join, that is your best way to contact us if you want to become a member of the Turnbuckle Studios family and be a part of the Turnbuckle Affiliation Program. Logan Thompson did it. You can be next. So please go to turnbucklestudios.org/join to see if you want to become a member of the Turnbuckle Affiliation Program. I'm going to be playing both those two video ads. So you have about a minute apart. So if you want to maybe get a drink, maybe you want to go to the bathroom, I'll give you a little bit of a time right now. So please enjoy both these videos.
A Turnbuckle Affiliation program is looking for more people. If you have passion level for pro wrestling, sports, video games, or something else, then Turnbuckle Studios is the place to be. If you have ever wanted to pursue content creation and want to join our team, then we would love to have you. Check out turnbucklestudios.org or contact us by email today because your future is now, and we want you to tap in.
The Turnbuckle Studios store is open for you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Get the merch and represent the best from the shows you watch on a weekly basis. Multiple styles to choose from with over 10 products available. Don't get left out and pick up all your favorites today. Find us at turnbucklestudios.org.
That's right, everyone. Turnbucklestudios.org. That is the place to go if you want to help out any part of our shows. Also, we'll get to a lot more, but we got yet covered. There is so many direct things. That is why we plug it. We want to make access to you that much easier. So please, turnbucklestudios.org is the place to be as well. Also, if you're there supporting, you can check out everyone's personal pages by going to turnbucklestudios.org/host. Not only can you find everyone's socials, but you'll also see the one that I have right there, mine, at my link tree at Chris Parrish. So yeah, please check that out and drop a like, drop a follow, and hit us up. We're on to night 2 of WrestleMania, which is going to be even bigger, I think, than night 1. It's going to be fun. That is what we're going up. We start off with another 2 ESPN matches that are also on Netflix as well for the thing. But remember, both first hour of WrestleMania, night 1 and night 2, will be on ESPN Plus. So please be aware of that as well. The first match of the night will be Oba Femi versus Brock Lesnar, and both the odds-on favorite and myself have a similar opinion. Oba Femi, the odd-on favorite to win. And I think that makes sense. If you want Oba Femi to continue on being this gigantic force in WWE, you can't have him lose at WrestleMania against Brock Lesnar. His first real big man test, even, you know what? I'll retract. It was Rusev. That was his big first test on the main roster. But WrestleMania against Brock Lesnar in your first feud, in your first few months on the main roster, you can't get much better than that. Brock Lesnar had a real good start to his career, and so does Obafemi. And I think this is going to be a fantastic, hard-hitting match. I don't think it's going to be a long match. I'm going to say it's under 12 minutes from bell to bell. So it's going to be a lot of fun, and it's going to be very interesting. But Obafemi, I do believe, will be the one who wins, and BetOnline agrees as they have him as the odds-on favorite. Next up on that same hour, we have what is going to be one of the most exciting matches of the WrestleMania card. It is a 6-pack ladder match for the Intercontinental Championship. We have the champion Penta defending his title against Dragon Lee, against Rey Mysterio, against Javon Evans, against Rusev, and against JD McDonough. It is going to be absolutely mind-blowing, jaw-dropping, all those adjectives that you want to say. It's going to be that plus more. The odds-on favorite to win and become a new Intercontinental Champion is Javon Evans. I am very intrigued by that one, because as much as I would love to see JD McDonough become your new Intercontinental Champion, I think this match is truly designed for Penta to retain his title. I do like the idea of absolutely doing something new here, and I think that does it. But how great of a moment would it be for Penta if he was to put out the challenge and absolutely double down on himself and retain that championship? And I will say he is still defending that championship, because yesterday he defeated Vikingo in AAA to retain that title as well. So we still have Penta as your Intercontinental Champion. So let me know in the chat who you have as the winner. Who's walking out of WrestleMania as Intercontinental Champion? Next up, I have the Women's Championship on the line as Jade Cargill defends against Rhea Ripley. And this one has a little bit more implications to it, because it's not just for the Women's Championship. If Rhea Ripley wins, she becomes the member of SmackDown. She leaves Raw and now switches to SmackDown with a win. That is something we have seen before, because when you remember when Naomi cashed in her Money in the Bank briefcase at Evolution and became the World Women's Champion, she switched over to Raw. So the same thing here goes. I do believe Rhea Ripley will win and become the new champion, and then becomes the new member of SmackDown. I do think Jade Cargill takes her first loss here, singles loss, and I am very intrigued with this, because we want to see kind of how Rhea Ripley kind of gets past everything. And I know there's a lot of speculation about Bianca Belair returning. She did start light training. We don't know much more about that progress and if she is fully medically cleared. And if there's a lot of people out there thinking she's coming back, I think a lot of people expect Bianca Belair to become the one who helps Rhea Ripley. I have a feeling Bianca Belair comes back as the new face of this group. I think Bianca Belair comes back and becomes the leader of this trio that we see of Jade, BFAB, and Michin. And then now we have this badass 4-woman stable on SmackDown. And maybe, just maybe, talked earlier about Charlotte and Alexa Bliss. Maybe they go after Michin and BFAB, and that's a fresh little feud there. And they join the team of Rhea Ripley. And yeah, maybe that's kind of where you go with SmackDown. What do you think? But yeah, the odds-on favorite to win, and my prediction are Rhea Ripley. I would not be upset with the Jade Cargill win. I'm just going to have that out there. I would not hate it, but I think this does revitalize the women's title picture on SmackDown if Rhea Ripley is put there. So I think that's the best move here. I really do. And sadly, it does come at the expense of a loss for Jade Cargill. And then next up, we have Sami Zayn versus Trick Williams for the United States Championship. Yeah, I think this is an overwhelming favorite that Trick Williams is walking out of the with the championship. I do think that's the right move. There has been rumors out there that a double turn could be in effect for this. Trick Williams is a fan favorite. He gets a lot of cheers, while there's been a lot of boos for Sami Zayn. I don't know if I necessarily see that happening, but if it does, I'm very intrigued with how this is going to be. I don't think it's going to be that difficult. I think, if anything, a heel Sami Zayn, I think, is definitely something I want to see a little bit more of. Trick Williams, whether it's heel, babyface, at the end of the day, Trick is going to be Trick, and that's all we want him to be, because he is very entertaining. And maybe Trick Mello could become a thing once again if he becomes babyface. But who knows? Maybe, just maybe, we see something developing there. I don't know. But Trick Williams, U.S. champion, leaving WrestleMania. Yeah, we can bet on that. Next up, we have Finn Balor, who is going to become the Demon at WrestleMania, taking on Dirty Dom Mysterio. And I think this is very obvious that the Demon Balor is going to win. I think the Demon Balor is the right pick here. And I definitely think we are going to see a conclusion to this feud. But at the same time, it's the Judgment Day, and we always run it back with the Judgment Day on Raw. So that is going to be something I am not sure of. But maybe, just maybe, Finn Balor wins, and then maybe we see something with him moving forward into the world title scene. I don't know. We'll get to there in a second. So yeah. Anybody, please let me know if you have any other opinions about this match other than the Demon standing tall on Dirty Dom at WrestleMania. Please let me know, or else we will move to the main event of WrestleMania Night 2, and really the match that we all want to see, and that is CM Punk defending his World Heavyweight Championship against Roman Reigns. Nothing. All right. CM Punk versus Roman Reigns World Heavyweight Championship. As a slight favorite, we have Roman Reigns as the betting favorite to win. I say slight because it is probably one of the closer betting odds. So if I was anybody else, this is the match to stay away from on a betting thing because it is too close to call. And really, I have to agree with that, because as much as I can see Roman Reigns winning this, I can also see CM Punk winning this as well. CM Punk is white hot right now, and because of that is what he's doing with that World Heavyweight Championship. So unless you do something big here, which I don't think is out of the question, I really don't. But unless that happens, I have CM Punk winning. I know Roman Reigns is the slight betting favorite, but something tells me that just if we do something with the Usos and specifically with Jay, a Jay heel turn on Roman, I would absolutely be down with that. And this allows us to have CM Punk still your champion, and then Jay Uso and Roman to go post WrestleMania. So that is what we have. So far, it's only 6 matches on night 2. There are rumors that we could see a 7th match happen. If the Bellas do perform at WrestleMania, look for Io and Asuka to be added. And if that's the case, I think Io wins. I think that would be the betting odd there. It's really we're gonna get a lot more light on that probably tomorrow on Raw. So look for that. I'm also okay if that's what we have for night 2 and everything just has time to breathe. I wouldn't hate it either. But we did talk about Raw tomorrow. Did talk about WrestleMania next week. WrestleMania nights 1 and night 2, you can catch that on Turnbuckle Studios platform with the PLE Patrol. That is something that you can see, but we're talking about Raw tomorrow. Raw Patrol is going to be right there, full effect. The last Raw before WrestleMania. You want to check that out. But then we got a lot of other programming too. So please go to turnbucklestudios.org/shows, and you want to make sure that you can check out all the latest episodic shows. But if you want to know what those shows are, here's a weekly calendar to remind you. And I specify weekly because the PLE Patrol is not weekly, so that is why it's a different thing. So watch parties and PLE Patrols not on this weekly calendar. And I also want to advise you that we are planning on making changes to this weekly calendar post WrestleMania. So stay tuned for more information. But for now, check this out.
Turnbuckle Studios and the Turnbuckle Affiliation Program bring you the week of streams. All times are in Eastern Time. Monday nights you get the Locker Room Breakdown at 7 p.m., followed by the Raw Patrol at 8 p.m. Tuesday brings you the flagship show, Turnbuckle Talk, at 8:05 p.m. Wednesday we play games with the PlayStation Showcase at 8 p.m. Thursday we go TNA as we brace for Impact at 9 p.m. On Fridays, join us for the SmackDown Security Detail at 8 p.m. The weekend brings you Saturday Night Gaming at 8 p.m. On Sunday, be sure to catch the Chris Parrish podcast at 12:15 p.m. And later that night, we have the Borsnist at 8 p.m. Be part of the shows and join the chat every day. And please visit turnbucklestudios.org.
All right, turnbucklestudios.org is the place to go to /shows, and you can find out all of the shows that are on that weekly calendar. And then on a click of a button, you can check out the latest episodic shows of those. And that includes the PLE Patrol as well. Everything that we talk about on the weekly calendar and on the watch parties and PLE Patrols, you can find out there. Let's talk about what I think could be next, and then we will close out this show. Obafemi and Brock Lesnar, what's next for both of those? I think Obafemi against Gunther could be real fun, so I'm going to go with that. With Brock Lesnar, that's good. That's a tough one. I do think eventually Brock Lesnar and Gunther will fight at SummerSlam. I think that is something I do think. So I think maybe we go there, and maybe even Brock Lesnar, LA Knight, that could be a big thing for him. But if Brock Lesnar loses to Obafemi, maybe there's a slight chance that we could see a rematch there. I don't know. Brock Lesnar's a tricky one because I don't expect him to be there much after WrestleMania. So I do think that's the tricky part for Brock Lesnar. For the six-pack challenge match for Javon Evans, if he's not champion I'm going to go with my prediction on this. If he is not champion, I definitely think he's in that ballpark of going after the title. I wouldn't hate maybe Javon Evans and either JD McDonough or Dom Mysterio to kind of have some fun with that. Maybe that's kind of where I go. Javon Evans, Finn Balor. Maybe they kind of fight the JD McDonoughs and the Dirty Dom Mysterios just to get Finn Balor, Dom, Javon Evans, and JD kind of there. With Penta, maybe a match with maybe something with Rusev just to keep him involved in the IC championship. That would be fun. With Rey Mysterio, I think that's a weird one because there have been the rumors that he's been holding off his retirement match plan with Gunther to stay with his son and Dom Mysterio. So maybe that's kind of where we go. And then with Dragon Lee, I think I don't know, maybe Ray and Dragon Lee go after the Vision for the tag titles. How about Dragon Lee and Rey Mysterio go after the championships with the Vision? I think that could be fun. With Sami Zayn and Trick Williams, I think they, just like Jade and Rhea, kind of continue on doing what they're doing. But I think Trick and Carmelo might do something after WrestleMania. And then I wouldn't be surprised if Sami Zayn does turn heel. I would love to see Sami Zayn and Matt Cardona kind of do something as well. That would be a lot of fun and very different. Trick Williams and Carmelo could kind of have that thing as well. And then with CM Punk and Roman Reigns, if Roman does win, I think CM Punk and Roman do it again. If CM Punk wins, I think Roman Reigns kind of moves on. I would love to see Jey Uso turn heel. That would take Roman Reigns and Jey Uso there. For CM Punk, if I was to say what could be next with him, that's a big one. And I don't know. Maybe we bring up an Ethan Page from NXT, do something with him. But I wouldn't be surprised if maybe we do something within that Vision. Maybe even Gunther and CM Punk will run that back. Who knows? That's going to be the fun thing, because remember, then what happens after WrestleMania is always a crapshoot. So it's very intriguing to kind of see. I do hope that we also see some movement on the talent side of things. So maybe we see some people move from Raw and SmackDown. I would love them to make some trades, make some movements. Maybe we just see both general managers say that they were talking at WrestleMania and they've decided that after WrestleMania, changes are going to happen to the roster. They've made some acquisitions, they made some deals, and that's what we get. Maybe we don't get a draft. Maybe we do. But maybe, just maybe, we get a little bit of a shakeup in some way or form. So that is WrestleMania from not only a prediction standpoint, but also a betting side favorite. Please, if you do bet, be responsible and take multiple sources into effect. Just don't take one or two. Please. But also just have some fun with it, and please be very, very smart with your stuff. You don't want to lose money to the wrong people, or just because you made a bad decision. So, but that's pretty much episode 123. Bets are in on the Chris Parrish podcast. I do want to let you know that 124 comes to you next Sunday, and yes, that is going to be after night 1, before night 2 of WrestleMania. So that just means the halftime show is next week. Yes, I am going to let you know that the Chris Parrish podcast, episode 124, is the unofficial halftime show of WrestleMania. But remember, that is the unofficial. So just make sure that is out there. It is the unofficial halftime show. So that is what's coming up next week. My name is Chris Parrish. You can check me out on my link tree right there down below, or you can go to turnbucklestudios.org/hosts and find me there. I am going to, on the Twitch side of things, raid out JPJ Loves Gaming. So make sure you're over there saying hi. Let him know that I sent you. But until then, I'm going to let you know that this has been episode 123. Bets are in on the Chris Parrish podcast. I hope you all have a great Sunday. I hope you enjoy the next week. It's going to be very exciting. WrestleMania is less than a week away, so let's enjoy the next few days. Remember to go to Beardcade for Dynasty tonight for a free showing. I appreciate everything you guys do, and remember to stay happy and to stay healthy, because at the end of the day, you matter. I'll see you next week.
Rip